Foxy Reaper, and my goal on this channel is to teach you how to reap the rewards of trading, whether the price is going up or down. Over on Total for the daily, we do have the potential for a double bottom here. That it's positive because that could be a bullish move. You have a drop, a rise, a drop, and we are potentially seeing a rise, which would attempt to push us forward. You'd measure the move forward by drawing your neckline across your top and your middle, or, well, in this case, your top and your middle usually would be where your first drop occurs and where your second pump would end up being. So then you draw from there down, then you apply this line forward, and that gives you your break of around that 936. So it does look like if we can continue bullish strength on lower time frames, then we could potentially push toward this 850. And then if we're able to continue bullish momentum from there, that's where we would push to that higher level. Our stochastic is pretty flat. Our side does want to push up. The VWAP is trying to gain strength, pushing momentum higher a little bit, so watch for that to continue. If that VWAP continues around here, momentum will push up, money flow can push into the green, and we would push forward. Over on the 1 hour, we have a lot of craziness going on here. So we do have some higher highs with higher lows. This does come after trying to get a bearish trend. That bearish trend tried to break that 749, but we did not hold. So we have some higher highs with higher lows. Right now, it does not look like they would connect. So if we took our parallel channel, connected our lows, pulled it up, actually the highs do connect, so I was wrong. But I would watch, because now we have two touches at the top. We would come back down for the bottom, and that likely would be where you break. If we do not get the break after coming back to the bottom, then we would see further bullish momentum. So that could potentially be right around here, and then that would be a break at that support level. Our momentum is pushing up though. VWAP is bullish, but this wave here does look a little shorter than the wave here. So keep an eye on this VWAP. If it rolls over and breaks into the bearish territory, then momentum will start to pull back, money flow will weaken, and we would see the bears gain more control and attempt to push us down. But if we are able to bounce off the bottom of the channel, then continue forward and break away, that's where we could see that double bottom attempt to pump us up. Now, over on Bitcoin futures for the daily, we did not go very far today, so not very much to be said there. Stochastic does have that bearish cross, RSI is pushing up. VWAP does have higher lows, watch for higher highs. Momentum is pushing down, and our money flow is trying to push forward, but if that VWAP continues to push down, we could see the bears remain in control. Did not mean to do that. There we go. So over on Bitcoin futures for the 1 hour, we did attempt to push up toward our gapped area. We stopped short and we did fall flat. Now we have higher lows with flat tops. So this is going to be very similar for Bitcoin. It does create a rising triangle, and it's kind of hard to draw here, so we'll have to move our chart over. This does create a rising triangle, and a rising triangle is a bullish pattern that tries to break you forward. So you'd measure, connect your bottoms, connect your tops, you get this triangle that goes upwards. That's why it's called a rising triangle. And then you'd connect from the top down to the bottom, apply that to your point, and that would be where you'd break up to. So this could give us a push to that 87K range. Now, I would watch. If we do get that push up, we do still want to break above that value area high and hold if we're going to continue forward. Otherwise, that could just be a pump up to fill our gap, and then bears could still try to push us down. We do have some things geopolitically that are going to take a few weeks, so I would warn against that scenario being more likely if we don't hear any news ahead of that time frame. Momentum does want to round. VWAP is pushing down. Money flows in the green, but with the VWAP coming down, I would watch that momentum very close, because it could lead money flow back into the red if we're not careful. But futures is not going to trade over the weekend, so you're going to want to watch that triangle on Bitcoin here. Over on the daily, stochastic does want to round. VWAP is trying to push up. Momentum does want to push forward. So if VWAP can break through that neutral and get a higher high, momentum will push up, money flow will gain strength, and we could continue forward. So I would watch. That could be positive, but again, that would be dependent on our triangle breaking and holding. So if we draw it here in Bitcoin, you connect your bottoms, go toward where your top is, then connect your tops, move that forward. There's your triangle, connect from top to bottom, apply that forward if you grab the right part of the chart, that is, and then that would give us a similar break toward around that 86k, sorry, apparently I can't read, so 86k. Remember, futures does trade at a premium, so that's why his triangle would be slightly higher. Stochastic is pushing forward, momentum is gaining strength, VWAP is bullish, and money flow is in the green. The only thing I would exercise caution on right here is if this triangle breaks out before the weekend is over, remember that means futures would have a gap up, and if we create a gap up, gaps have an 80% likelihood to fill, so that could create pressure that could bring us right back down. So I will warn against that, but over on graph, kind of like we warned against for the last gap, but over on graph, very similar to total, where we have that double bottom. We do want to continue further. We don't really have a strong green candle like we saw in total, so we need that strong green candle to confirm that double bottom to help push us up. VWAP is trying to gain strength, momentum wants to push up, money flow is trying to break toward the green, so if VWAP continues up, money flow could start to gain some strength and help give us some strong green candles. Over on the 1 hour, we do have those higher lows with flat highs, again a rising triangle that would try to break us forward, possibly right around this 8854 range. Momentum does want to push up. VWAP is starting to favor bullish, so that is positive. The bullish wave here is a little shorter than this one here, but we have a higher low, and we are trying to pump forward. So if we can create a strong wave from here, then momentum will remain bullish, money flow will push into the green, higher time frames would pump forward, and we would get that confirmation. But if this VWAP rolls over, then we're probably not going to get that confirmation. Over on XRP for the daily, with the rest of the market looking pretty positive, I would warn against this bear flag. Remember, it may not play out now. Our stochastic does want to push up, VWAP wants to gain strength, momentum is pushing forward, money flow is gaining strength. Overall, we do look positive here, and we are trying to push forward. That is after getting a bit of a round, so we kind of broke away. We were supposed to see a red candle after the green candle to confirm that bear flag. Right now, we have a green candle after our green candle, giving us bullish hope for a rounding bottom to propel us forward. Now, over on the 1 hour, we have some higher highs with higher lows, so we again do want to connect our bottoms, pull that forward, connect our tops, and they do not connect. So we have a bullish continuation. Since they don't connect, a bullish continuation can lead us away from this channel and push us higher, as its name suggests. Stochastic does want to push up, RSI is pushing forward, momentum does have a green dot, as VWAP does have a higher low, so watch that VWAP close. If it can favor bullishly from here, momentum will remain high, money flow will break forward, remaining in the green, and then higher time frames will strengthen, and that will give us that bullish scenario. Thank you for watching tonight's video. I hope you have a great night. Hit the like and subscribe, and join us in that Discord.